Hello, boys and girls, dogs and cats, and everyone else. This is Tooth and Claw Podcast. We have our wildlife biologist, Wes Larson. He likes bears, he studies bears, he has slept with bears. We have his younger brother, Jeff Larson. I like bears as well. Not that other stuff, though. Okay. And we have our best friend, sound guy, man of many talents, Mike Smith.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for having me. Thanks for having me for 174 episodes straight. Oh, no, wow. I missed one. My streak was broken. Shoot.
Yeah.
That's my keep asking how many episodes we have, and now I know. Is that like 3 main feed episodes?
I think so. That's the number I put in the last upload. It could be. I could be totally off.
Does that count the one we deleted?
Oh, it might. It might not. I don't know.
We should quit at 175.
I'll put one of those little squiggly lines that means approximately. I don't know what that line is called. A squiggle.
Squiggles. Yeah, that's what that's called. We just got back from Costa Rica the other day. Had a wonderful trip with some wonderful travelers. Just wanted to shout them out really quickly. We got Lilith, Liz, Emily, Dan, Emily, Noor, Corbett, Grace, Mara. I'm terrible at, she's Belgian, hard to say. Caitlin, Avery, Colleen, Lydia, Andrew, Zach, Julia, Nora, Gina, and Leslie. Great trip. And Tatiana, our guide, who was wonderful.
The best.
Great trip.
Y'all are the best.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill Dan.
Yeah. You are, Dan. Watch your back.
Yeah.
I think that's the first death threat we've issued on one of our episodes.
I said it in front of the whole group, too, so
multiple
I feel like
times.
I have to do it. Yeah.
We had a few firsts on this trip. We have our first attack that's going to come as a story from one of those trips, because I got stung on the arm by a bullet ant. So that's definitely going to make it into an episode at some point.
Wes got bit by one single ant, and it is
stung by one
the
single
biggest
ant.
Deal.
Yeah,
right.
I did
you should
not make a big deal out of it. In fact, everyone was saying, I feel like you should be making a bigger deal out of this.
Go watch the Coyote Peterson bullet ant episode, and you'll have a pretty good idea what Wes was acting like.
Pretty
just
much
doing
the
triple
opposite of
backflips
that.
and stuff.
Calmly telling Mike that if I pass out, he should take me out of the canyon.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to that. We'll tell the whole story at some point.
They don't bite?
They sting. They can bite, but that's not what hurts with them. It's their sting. Yeah. It's their venom.
You kind of have to be able to bite if you're going to be something that eats to survive, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they bite. They have mandibles, so it's more like ripping, but it's biting. Yeah. Kind of like a predator.
Does that mean everything can bite?
Well,
no, what if some things just suck?
Right. If a bullet ant breaks its jaw and gets it wired shut and goes on a liquid diet for a while, it's probably not biting very much.
It's not biting anymore. Or if it gets a gum
mosquitoes suck, but you still call it a mosquito bite.
Ooh, that's a good point, Jeff.
Point.
Holy
cow.
Point.
This is your mind works in the most mysterious and wonderful of ways.
It does. Interesting. Yeah, I think though the difference is biting is often just for eating, not for defense in a lot of animals.
I got sucked by a mosquito.
Yeah. That's true.
I'll start saying that now.
Sucked off. Nothing can go wrong with that.
I got a mosquito suck right on my elbow.
Do we have a sloth count for how many sloths we saw? It was probably 6 or 7, right? We saw a lot of sloths.
Good amount. Yeah.
I think it was, we saw 2 bearlies.
Yeah.
And then we got our first real good one.
Yeah. It
was crazy. I was we were just looking for a sloth in the wild, and I was looking at the tree with binos, studying that tree. Didn't see anything, and then Lilith came running up.
Lilith nailed it.
Literally crying and said, "There's a sloth right there."
She was our biggest sloth fan too.
That's why they survive. They blend. They get that moss. They look like a tree, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
We saw eyelash viper, fertilance, caiman, lots of frogs,
red-eyed tree frogs.
Man, coatamundi. Or no, not yeah. We had coatamundi. We had kinkajou, agouti, all sorts of fun critters.
Basilisk.
Oh, don't forget the basilisk was so cool.
Howler monkeys.
Yeah, lots of monkeys. It was great. It was a really fun trip with great people. So
For sure. Yeah.
yeah,
A bullet ant.
thanks to everyone that came with us. A bullet ant. Yeah, it was. Yeah, we did some fun canyoneering that just seemed really adventurous and cool. But
Yeah,
you know,
Avery
stamp of approval
on
for
the
Costa
trip
Rica.
Turned out was legally blind, and she
Yeah,
did the whole canyon in the jungle. It's incredible.
She got through it.
yeah.
Shout
Didn't
out.
even die. That's
know.
crazy.
If
I
was
almost
legally
died. That
blind.
was
I would have
wild.
died getting out of the van to go to
Right?
canyoneering.
Serious.
Yeah, so pretty impressive. All right, today's episode actually has a bit of a backstory, and Jeff, it involves Danielle from National Park After Dark. Mike,
Wow.
it involves Danielle from National Park After Dark. Just wanted to
Good to
tell
know.
that to both of you separately.
Yeah, no reason to exclude.
No
one of
reason
us.
to exclude or to prioritize either of you. Danielle sent me a story a couple weeks ago, and it was a great story. I looked into it. She said, "Hey, this is a great story," and guess what? She was right. I looked into it, and I thought, man, it's a great story.
Just
For once.
That's-
yeah.
yeah, right.
She was
Thanks.
right.
Finally. The way you said that really sounded like the way Trump talks. It's like, it was a great story, let me tell you. The story is great
Boys.
because it's good.
And it's huge. A huge story, too.
Anyway.
So as I got into it, it actually was huge. And this was a story I wanted to do right before our trip. And then I realized, hey, there's a lot of stuff here that we need to talk about. And it's not going to be one that I can just do immediately. And there's a couple books I had to read, which you all know is my least favorite thing in the world when I have to order books and read it for these episodes.
I didn't know.
I'm just
that.
kidding. I really like it. I do like it. But it does always add to the timetable substantially. So
Yeah.
I ordered those books, and it turned into a two-parter. That's what I'm getting at. This is going to be a two-part episode.
What?
It's going to be a fun two-parter. People love them. I still sound like Trump. Why am I doing Trump?
I don't know. It's
People
really-
love it.
People love
Have
it.
the
I'm
They're
best
gonna
gonna love it.
two-parters.
It's the best two-parter. Yeah.
People are saying that Wes has the
Uh-huh.
best two-parters.
Yeah. This may be the best. It is the best two-parter ever made.
Right?
But I'm excited about it because I do think it's a really interesting story. It's something that really gets into American history and to the history of one of my all-time favorite animals. Actually, my all-time favorite animal, which is, of course, the grizzly bear.
Nice.
So this is going to be part one of what we've titled Ghost Grizzlies, the Grizzlies of Colorado.
Oh, wow.
So for this, I didn't come up with that title. My main source is the book Ghost Grizzlies by David Peterson, which is a great book. I highly recommend it. And then I also got a few other sources. I'll talk about my other book next week, but that was the source that I used substantially for this
His
episode,
name
was
is
the book
David
Ghost.
Peterson.
David Peterson.
Any relation to Pete Davidson? The names are real similar.
Yeah, one of them is from an alternative dimension, and
I
they're
think
stuck
it was
in the
his
same
dad
world with each other.
before the
Which one?
accident.
Before 9/11?
Because that's how names work. You just switch the first and the last around.
Now, Mike, does
Uh-huh.
Ghost Grizzlies sound scarier than Grizzlies?
For sure. I'm imagining what their growl sounds like. It's probably all ethereal and stuff. It's not like I was really hoping you would deliver on that, Wes, and you
Pretty
did.
good.
Yeah. Okay. I think they're
Well-
scarier, but also that's not the kind of ghosts we're talking about.
I
I
don't know.
don't think it's scary.
Yeah, I
Yeah, you're
actually
not
don't
afraid of
either.
ghosts.
Well,
What about
I'm
that?
afraid of grizzly bears.
What about zombie grizzlies, like the one from Annihilation?
Mm.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Zombie
That's
grizzly scariest.
Yeah,
Right,
I
for
agree.
sure. Or like
a
a
lot
mummy
scarier.
grizzly.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh,
Are we just
stop.
making up different
Stop. I'm getting
variations?
too scared. Ah.
Vampire.
Alien.
You turn into
bear.
one.
All right. So on this first episode, we're going to focus on some of the history.
Or like a bear that's like cat dog, but instead of a cat and a dog, it's just two bears. It's like two grizzlies in one. Dude, that would be. And they're both ghosts. Wes.
Yeah, that is scary.
That's what we're talking about?
We got to stop. All right. So in part one, I'm going to re-rack this. We'll see if I can get through it. Part one, we're going to be talking about some of the history, some of the attacks, and some of the interesting stories that led up to a fateful day in the late 1970s. All right. Before we get into the written history of grizzly bears in the state of Colorado, I want to talk a little bit about their importance to the indigenous people of the area. And we're really going to be talking about the San Juan Mountains of Colorado quite a bit. And the people that were thought to have mostly inhabited those mountains are the Ute tribe, which is, of course, the tribe that the state of Utah was named after.
The college.
They have been the mascot of, the University of Utah for a while. And like many of the indigenous people that did share the land with grizzly bears, the Ute people had an incredible respect and an incredible reverence for grizzly bears. They saw them as a symbol of strength and an important connection to the spiritual world. I think we tend to talk about, especially with kind of North American indigenous people, their relationship to nature. Sometimes it maybe even gets romanticized a little bit, but I think it's really hard to understate how important grizzly bears were to most of the people that shared the land with them. They were kind of seen as one of the most spiritually important animals out there, and that's totally true for the Utes. Their reverence for the grizzly bear was so strong. What's that?
It's true for you.
Yeah, but I think in a different way. I get jealous of that connection because I don't think I can even have it to that level in my life. But their reverence was so strong that they would only move into the San Juan Mountains in the spring after they had performed a sacred bear dance in the early spring. And that dance was kind of a way of them asking for permission to once again share the home of the grizzly bear. Some of the sources I found said that the dance was intended to wake the bears from their hibernation so that the bears could lead them into plentiful food sources in the mountains. But I did kind of see some contrasting information about the dance, so I don't want to get anything wrong. So the main thing is that it's safe to say that they had a really deep connection with those bears and that the bear dance was an expression of that connection.
Do you know what that dance looked like by any chance?
I remember I looked up some details. There was a lot of like adornments. It lasted like 3 days. A lot of drumming because the drumming was supposed to symbolize the thunder, which is often like thought to be the voice of the bear as it like woke up in the spring. I didn't watch any videos or anything, but from everything I read, it seems like it was a very elaborate, beautiful, like rhythmic dance that went for a very long time.
I love that. Ritual.
Yeah, me too.
Dances, I just think that's such a cool idea that I don't know if it's appropriate to say that I wish we would incorporate that more into modern society somehow, but maybe that's just best left to them. But I just think it's a cool idea. I like that.
Yeah, that's kind of like one of the worst parts of science and like bear biologists.
For sure. I totally
like you
agree.
guys told us when bears wake up and that it's just like part of their like life cycles, and it's like, we thought those drums for 3 days woke them up.
I totally agree. I think like the big downside to science is it takes a lot of the mystery out of the world.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that it disproves those things. Like, who knows? Maybe this dance did wake up the bears. I'm not saying that. So anyway, sure. What I can say is that a really cool thing about this, I think, is the concept of them not going into the mountains during the winter because it was like the realm of the bear and they had to be invited. And that is a good conservation kind of forward-minded thing because it shows that they're like giving different ecosystems breaks throughout the seasons, which again, this is just a quick plug for indigenous-led conservation is often the most effective type of conservation because there's like a real sense of stewardship for those animals and for the land and everything.
Wouldn't you say we, for the most part, kind of do that now, though? Like with hunting seasons and like fishing seasons and stuff like that?
To some extent, but I think the difference is like they wouldn't even go up there. There's no resource extraction at all during that time. And it's not like our seasons
COVID
are
when
perfectly...
the dolphins came back.
Kind of. Yeah. There's no human presence.
Or Endgame when Chris Evans was talking about the whales swimming in the harbor again.
Yeah. We need a Thanos.
That's so cool.
And that's not every tribe that did that, but this was a practice of the Ute tribe in the San Juan Mountains.
Have you been looking for a natural way to relieve aches and discomfort? Yeah, I have actually. Well, the CBD gummies from Cornbread Hemp are formulated to work with your body, not against it. Do you have any more information for me? Cornbread Hemp CBD gummies are made to help you feel better, whether it's stress, discomfort, or just needing a little relaxation. And all products are third-party lab-tested and USDA organic to ensure safety and purity. I have a lot of back pain, a lot of general pain. I love Cornbread Hemp gummies. So, Right now, Tooth and Claw listeners can save 30% on their first order. Just head to cornbreadhemp.com/tooth and use code TOOTH at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/tooth and use code TOOTH.
All right, when we messed things up, when frontiersmen and explorers showed up in Colorado in the 1800s, the grizzly was far less scared of them and far more scary. Grizzly bears were often shot on sight because their reputation from early expeditions like the Lewis and Clark expedition was well known. And Lewis and Clark had killed 43 grizzlies. Their expedition had killed 43 grizzlies during their roughly 2 years adventuring, and probably wounded a ton more because they would essentially shoot at almost any grizzly they saw. But their more devastating effect really came by way of their reports, because they described this white bear as pretty much a bloodthirsty monster. And the killing intensified when trappers came to the area.
White?
Yeah, they called it a white bear initially. Trappers and stuff. That's what they called it before it got the name grizzly bear.
Before they found polar bears.
Yeah. And we're going to dig into what I'm about to say.
Before the word brown was invented, maybe?
Yeah, brown wasn't a thing yet. They're like, we got black and we got white. There's nothing in between.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when trappers started showing up, they were getting hides and skulls and claws that they were selling for high prices. Then people started building homesteads in villages and towns, and more bears were killed in direct conflicts. But we're going to rewind a little bit, and we're going to go back to kind of some of those early days. So there were a lot of grizzlies in Colorado in the early 1800s up to the mid 1800s, and some of them did end up attacking some of their new entitled neighbors. And the first attack on record happened in Colorado, the first attack on record in Colorado happened on November 13th, 1821. It was a cold fall day, so this is like 2 days from now. We're recording on the 11th of November. That's crazy, I just realized that.
Yeah.
Oh, 11/11.
Yeah.
Numerologists are going ham right now.
Make a wish, everyone.
Yeah, make right. It's kind of like 9/11, but just the first number's a little different.
But nothing happened.
Yeah. Or is that what the government wants you to think?
That's just what they want us to think. Building 7, dude.
Ooh, 7/11. That's another good one.
Now, oh man, we are numerologists all of a sudden. We got to connect these somehow. All right. It's a cold fall day, and this guy, Lewis Dawson, was traveling with a group of mountain men near what is now Los Animas, Colorado. The group had made a midday stop, and some of the men were out to hunt, and some stayed in camp, and some were foraging. And the quiet noises of these men making themselves busy were suddenly shattered by the crack of a gun, and then the sound of someone yelling, "White bear," which again is a grizzly bear.
Brown bear.
All of the men, including Lewis Dawson, grabbed their rifles and ran in different directions to try and kill this bear, and they were unaware that this injured bear had actually taken cover in some brush right next to their camp. And when Dawson ran by that brush, the bear charged out and knocked him to the ground and began shaking him back and forth and biting his skull. Hugh Glenn, one of the leaders of the company, tried to shoot the bear, but his rifle misfired. It seemed like Dawson was about to be ripped apart in front of his friends when a large dog from the company ran out and attacked the bear, drawing its attention away from Dawson. When Dawson got up to run, the bear turned back on him and began ripping into him again with both its teeth and its claws. Hugh Glenn once again raised his gun to shoot one more time, but again the gun misfired, and then again the dog charged in and drew the attention of the bear. These guns used to misfire a lot. They weren't very reliable, so this was pretty common. This is like a flint gun. But at this point, this guy with the gun, Glenn, realizes that probably nothing is going to stop this bear from mauling him too, because it's taking him forever to reload. And he decides that he's going to climb a nearby tree and get away from this enraged grizzly bear. The bear is still busy with the dog, so Dawson also gets up, the guy that's being mauled, and he limps to the tree and starts climbing up behind Glenn. You guys, how well does tree climbing work with grizzly bears?
A little better than with black, right?
Better than with black bears, for sure. And better than nothing. So Tom is currently, or maybe finished already, working on a paper that kind of goes into all these secondary ways of getting away from bears and how effective they actually are. And I think I'm kind of paraphrasing what he told me, but his findings were that, yeah, it actually does quite often work with grizzly bears, but when it doesn't, it's really, really bad because the bear will come up after you it'll pull you out and you've given up any kind of chance of getting away, and you might sustain a pretty good fall in the process. So it can work. It's a good last case scenario, but it's never what you should go for first. It really reduces your options.
And what year was this?
This is 1821.
So might be a better option back then.
Good plan back then. Yep.
Yeah,
Not a bad
it's
plan.
not like they had bear spray.
No bear spray. Their guns took forever to fire. They're low caliber. They didn't have good options. So this is a great option back then. Unfortunately, it wasn't a great option for Dawson. As he's climbing up the tree, the bear decides...
dog probably scares the bear up the tree.
Yeah, maybe. And I don't know. I know people are going to ask what happened to the dog. I don't know. This is from one of the expedition's people's journals, and it's written in like you can hear this guy spitting into a spittoon as you're reading his thing. But so he didn't say anything about the dog. I don't think they really cared back then, or maybe they did. Who knows? Anyway, as Dawson's climbing this tree, the bear decides to climb up after him. It bites into his leg, rips him out of the tree, and back down on the ground. By now, Glenn, the other guy in the tree, has fixed his rifle. He's loaded another shot, and he fires at the bear from the tree and hits it, knocking it over. He climbs down, he grabs Dawson by the leg and pulls him free of this bear. But when he does that, the bear gets back up and charges toward Glenn and Dawson. But luckily for these two men, at this point, some of the other hunters had shown up, and they all fire at the bear, and they kill it on the spot. So they take Dawson back to camp, and while he's still conscious, he's been really torn up, really badly, especially on his head and his scalp. And he tells the men that he knows he's going to die because he had both heard and felt his own skull cracking in the mouth of the bear. And he was right about that. Now plug your ears if you're squeamish, because this next detail is a little bit gnarly. But when these men investigated, they found a large puncture wound from one of the bear's canines near his upper right temple that had gone all the way through his skull. And they said that some of his brains were working their way out of that hole into view.
Oh,
Jeez,
wow.
he must have had big brains.
He probably just had big old
smart.
brains in there. Yeah. They did their best to stitch him up and make him comfortable, but he did die from his injuries 3 days later. Dawson would be the first person to be killed on record by a grizzly bear in what is now Colorado, and he would also be the first non-indigenous person to be buried in the state, which is kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
Probably worth it, right?
Yeah, leave your mark on history.
Yeah, you get the record.
Yeah.
He's probably going to die of some sickness soon anyway.
Yeah, syphilis or something,
Yeah.
which isn't a good way to die.
It's kind of like V for Vendetta. you
How?
know? Well, that scene where he gets shot, but then he goes and he kills the one guy he really wants to kill, and then they all shoot him like 100 more times, and then he dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just remember the 11th of November or whatever.
Wait, is that the 11th?
No, it's,
Okay.
what is it, the 6th of December or something? I don't know.
No, it is November, isn't it?
Is it
is
November? You're
Yeah.
right, I don't know. It's
Okay, now we gotta look it up. I feel like it's like the 4th of November. Remember, the 5th of November. So close.
Oh, we missed it. Shoot.
All right.
We forgot.
Should we quit?
5'11", Jeff's true height.
All right.
Don't out me, dude.
I 6'1", I meant 6'2", even probably.
In those early mountain man days of Colorado's history, there was a lot of other memorable run-ins with grizzly bears. The famous trapper and mountain man Kit Carson was out hunting elk in the 1830s. He had just killed and started processing an elk when 2 grizzly bears showed up and chased him off this elk. Without any shots left in his rifle, he ditched his rifle and climbed a nearby tree, which the 2 bears started to climb up after him. He broke off a large branch and swung it at the nose of the bears, hitting them and causing them to back off and hang out at the base of the tree. They stayed there for a few hours, then they got bored, went back to his elk and ate it, and then he spent the rest of the night in the tree and climbed down back to camp where he told his story. So those are just kind of illustrative events from the 1800s of this relationship between grizzly bears and white settlers. And it was fraught with conflict, but that conflict was somewhat evenly matched.
Yeah.
These guns didn't work very well. I think the scoreboard was maybe pretty even on both sides. We definitely killed more of them than it did us, but when they got us good.
Right.
Yeah.
What How long did you say that bear was waiting at the base of the tree?
They were there for like 5 or 6 hours, I think.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, it would feel long though. That would feel really long.
Right. Well, I was just thinking, like, with our TikTok brains these days, that bear would have been gone in like 3 sequends.
Oh yeah.
Like,
it would have been so
nothing
bored.
going on here.
Yeah.
Just ADD bears.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not a good question for right now, but can
It would.
bears and other animals have attention
ADD.
deficit disorders?
I don't think we have any way of knowing that.
Dogs.
That's probably
for sure.
true, huh?
Some dogs.
Yeah. There's that one. Have you guys ever seen that experiment where they gave a spider like a bunch of different types of drugs and then watched what happened to its web?
Oh yeah.
And it like on cocaine and meth, it like went all crazy. That's pretty much what Adderall is, right? Cocaine and meth. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know where that doesn't mean
So
anything.
glad
No, I
I started
like it.
taking that when I was like 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what'll fix your kid? Methamphetamine.
That's yeah.
And then if he gets too excited, let's give him some downers too.
It's like, yeah, his
opiates.
grades are still
Yeah.
bad, but he's sitting still.
Yeah.
That's that meth doing the trick. All right. In the late 1800s, white settlers really started realizing that the combination of lots of winter precipitation and summer sun led to some really good growing conditions in Colorado. And countless farms and ranches started popping up around the state. And at the same time, the timber industry was also really starting to accelerate. And like almost all resource extraction of the time, basically no thought at all was given to the effect on wildlife. And a lot of prime grizzly bear habitat was destroyed as a result. With all this livestock around and with a reduced amount of good habitat, these bears naturally started killing livestock. And there was a lot more conflict than there had been previously. So while there used to have this kind of strained relationship between grizzly bears and white people, now they're ready to completely declare war on predators like grizzly bears and wolves and other predators. So they called professional hunters to come to the state, and these guys killed so many bears that the population quickly fell, and they started to be seen only in the most remote parts of Colorado, places like the San Juan Mountains and the Sangre de Cristos. Now, this is an interesting time. It's a really sad time for predators, but it's also an interesting time because this war kind of created some animal heroes. Bears that were especially troublesome or hard to kill started to become a little bit famous, and they would make it into newspapers around the country. One of these bears, one of the first of them, was called Old Two Toes or Old Clubfoot. And he was a massive male grizzly that was often seen on Grand Mesa. He was especially proficient at killing cattle, and he had earned his nickname in 1890 when he was briefly caught in a foothold trap but managed to free himself, losing 3 of his toes in the process. It's kind of crazy, actually, how many of these bears and wolves did this, where they would get caught in a foot trap and manage to like lose a couple toes as they got away, and how every single one of them would be like Old One Toe, Old Three Toes, Old Clubfoot, old, like almost all of their names.
They always nicknamed them.
Were based off of that, which just shows they weren't very creative back then.
They would have got out of that first trap and saw so fast.
Yeah,
Just the saw guy would have just been like, shit.
Yeah, he wouldn't even get to wheel out his little bicycle guy. What's that guy
the saw for?
Jigsaw?
Jigsaw.
Yeah. The bear just knocks the saw away. All right. Imagine the perfect gift where you're allowed to help a loved one bring their favorite memories back to life every single day. Well, you don't have to imagine it because this gift exists and it's Aura Frames. For me, I am very nostalgic. I love looking at old photos. I love looking at photos that I just took. And I absolutely love our Aura Frame. It sits right in our kitchen. It is loaded up with all of our favorite photos, with photos of our pets, photos of Montana, photos of all the different wildlife we've seen. And every day I find myself just kind of standing in the kitchen and looking as the photos pass by because it's just so fun to relive some of those old memories. And for me, I think it's a perfect gift because there's a lot of different features that just make it so thoughtful and personable. You can actually preload an Aura frame before you ship it to your loved ones. So you can add all the photos. So really all they have to do is turn it on, plug it in, and all of your photos are going to be in there. It's really easy to share photos and videos effortlessly straight from your phone. It only takes seconds to load new photos on. It comes in a beautiful gift box. And a really cool thing about Aura Frames is the social component. You can like photos of different people that have access to your Aura Frame. It's just a really fun, interesting, cool way to keep in touch with your loved ones and remind them about your favorite memories together. So for a limited time, visit auraframes.com and get $45 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code TOOTH at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code TOOTH. This exclusive Black Friday Cyber Monday deal is their best of the year, so order now before it ends, and support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions do apply. And again, I love my Aura frame. I can't recommend them highly enough. It is a great gift for holiday season. For me, and I'm sure for a lot of you listeners, your dog isn't just a pet. It's an important member of your family. Every morning when I wake up, my favorite part of the day is how excited my dog gets to see me in the morning. She usually sleeps out on the couch, and when we walk out in the morning, she's just a bundle of joy, so happy, wagging her tail, and it just makes me want the absolute best for her. And because of that, we switched to Ollie. They offer fresh, protein-packed meals with real human-grade ingredients, and they offer 5 tasty recipes that are all slow-cooked for top nutrition. These are human-grade recipes backed by vet nutritionists and crafted with culinary experts, so your dog is going to love the taste. Even the pickiest eaters are going to show more excitement during mealtime. And that's something I've thought about a lot. If you're just kind of feeding your dog a boring, kind of gross kibble its entire life, that's a really important part of its life that it's just sort of missing out on. And for dogs, we want them to eat well. We want them to eat nutritious food, but also food that they're really going to like, because they are such important members of our family. Ollie's tailored meal plans are specific to meet your dog's needs. They're perfectly portioned meals in mess-free packaging. And they actually have on-demand health screenings where you can tap real experts for pup peace of mind. And for us with Polly, she loves eating her Ollie, which rhymes, I know. But it just makes us feel good too that we know that we're giving her human-grade ingredients, tasty food that she actually likes, and that she's going to grow and progress the way that we want her to. So your dog's well-being starts with their food. And that's why Ollie delivers fresh, human-grade food that your dog will love. Head to ollie.com/tooth, tell them all about your dog, and use code TOOTH to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a happiness guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's ollie.com/tooth and enter code TOOTH to get 60% off your first box. A $500 bounty was put on his head, on old Two Toes, but he continued killing livestock and evading capture until 1902, when a small hunting party decided to go to Grand Mesa to hunt some deer. And in that party was Franklin Manges, who was a bit of a novice but wanted to tag along with these hunters to try and get some game. And the hunters were out one day and he was alone in camp, and he got bored, probably after like 20 hours of sitting still and like doing nothing, and picked up his 30-30 and went to go look for a deer. He was walking alone when he heard a woof behind him, and he turned to see a large grizzly bear charging toward him. He froze, and the bear broke off of its bluff charge and ran about 60 feet away when Manges raised his rifle and fired. He hit the bear, and it sprinted off, and then he followed this blood trail through the brush. This guy wants to die, apparently. Tracks it a few miles, is crossing a creek when suddenly the bear stands up above the bushes about 75 feet away. He shoots again, he hits the bear in the shoulder, and then shoots again, and the bear runs off once more. At this point, I think he has like a repeating rifle, so he can get off multiple shots pretty quickly. He runs into the brush where the bear disappeared, and then it charges out at him at about 50 feet away. He starts shooting really fast, and the bear collapses. And at this point, he had hit this bear, old Two Toes, 11 times.
Wow.
Ooh,
Yeah.
50 cents, almost.
Yeah. He decides to go back. Yeah, how many? He got shot 9 times, right?
That's what he says, but
And he
I
doesn't
don't
walk
know
with a
about
limp.
that.
Yeah, I don't believe it. Prove
Right.
it.
Yeah.
He decides to go back to camp to tell it. 50 Cent just shows up at my door. I could see it.
Part 2, special guest, 50 Cent.
Yeah. He decides to go back to camp, and he tells his hunting companions about this bear. And a group of these guys go back to the spot where this bear had died, but it's no longer there. They follow the tracks for about 100 yards, and they see the bear still alive, lying in a thicket, and Maine just takes aim and fires his final shot at the bear, his 12th shot, hitting it under the eye and finally killing it. When they inspect the body, they do see that it's missing 3 toes on the right foot, and this old 2 toes had finally been killed. All right, but the famous of these marauding grizzly bears in Colorado at the beginning of the 1900s is Old Mose. Why do you guys think he got called famous? Old Mose?
The Mose famous one?
Mose famous. That's pretty good. Because he was the most famous grizzly bear.
I think you forgot the word most, but that's fine.
Yeah. It's M-O-S-E. I don't know if you'll get it. I'm just going to tell you that.
Moses? He was found as a baby bear in a basket in the Nile.
I thought these guys love the Bible. It's probably their only book, but that wasn't it. Right. You got any guesses, Jeff?
No.
He's called Old Mose because he liked moseying around a lot more than other grizzly bears.
No, come on. No one shortens the word mosey to Mose. That's ridiculous.
They did, Mike. That's why they called him Old Mose. And he was famous because he had reportedly killed hundreds of sheep and cows and 3 people. But only one of those
How many sheep equal one person in your view, Wes?
Like how many, like on the trolley problem, how many sheep would have to be lined up before I hit that switch and let it kill one person?
Yeah.
Like 10 billion sheep.
Wow. That's like all the sheep in the world, right?
I don't know. How many would you guys say?
50.
You're saying you'd rather have 0 sheep in the world than like probably this person's not that.
I guess like if everyone lost their sheep in the world, then a lot of people are going to die. So yeah, probably like a couple thousand sheep.
I call it even like 1-to-1.
Even 1-to-1. You can't make up your mind. Yeah.
I'm letting the train hit both of them.
2 people equals 1 sheep.
Okay, 2-to-1. In favor of the sheep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Depends on the people. All right. So Old Mose had killed hundreds of sheep and cows and 3 people, and only one of these human deaths was somewhat verifiable. It happened in 1882 when Jake Ratcliffe was hunting with a friend and they stumbled on Old Mose, just moseying around. Yeah. Ratcliffe fired at close range. I don't know why that makes you so mad, Mike.
It's ridiculous.
I loved it.
Oh my gosh.
Old Mose immediately turns to attack. Ratcliffe quickly realizes how big of a mistake he's made, but not quick enough to get another shot off. All he manages to do is smash the butt of his rifle into the face of this huge charging grizzly bear before it's on top of him and mauling him. And it mauled the shit out of him.
Oh, gosh.
This bear essentially ripped off the back part of his neck with its mouth, broke one of his legs, completely shredded both of his thighs, and ripped one of his arms completely off.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
He did. So this guy died, which it's kind of fun when you talk about these ones from like the 1800s, because it's like we can just kind of say whatever we want.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, he died from this bear. The other 2 deaths attributed to Old Mose probably didn't happen. I would say almost certainly didn't happen, because the story behind him is that 2 human skeletons were found near the entrance of a den that he commonly used in the winter. But I feel like if they knew where he was denning, they would have been able to kill him pretty easily. Like chuck some dynamite in there. Yeah. Oh, everyone wanted Old Mose dead.
Oh yeah, he gets killed all that shit.
What were the skeletons posed in an interesting way?
I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
Wasn't the Pompeii volcano explosion? Didn't they find skeletons like, having sex and stuff?
I think they're just like hugging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hugging. That's kind of the same thing for.
No,
some
it's
people
not,
prefer
Mike.
just a hug.
It's not even close.
One thing leads to the other.
Neighbor puts like little decorations on her door throughout the year. So maybe the bears did that with its den.
It's possible, like a little wreath.
Oh, yeah.
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 Like it's not going to find anything much better than a skull. Maybe like a bighorn sheep skull, but human skull would be cool.
It would be the coolest. Like Predator, he's got that little wall of skulls. If hugging counted as sex, I would have like the highest body count because I love giving hugs.
You do like hugs, yeah. Yeah,
All right.
that's actually because I won't
Go
even
ahead.
bring
Nope.
up how many
Say it.
times I've hugged.
Okay. Yeah. Never mind. I take that back. Okay.
Here's
Old
the thing,
Moses-
though.
Maybe
Yeah.
bleep that out.
If they were having sex and the volcano erupted,
Mm-hmm.
we could easily say, like, they're probably just hugging.
That's true. Sure.
If you're just looking at their bones, it's like, yeah, they were just hugging, trying to stay.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
have
nah.
you
Yeah.
ever seen them? They're like both like front to front, and like their
You
crotches aren't
want 'em,
together.
like 69 in.
I just don't
Right.
think I've ever
yeah,
the position that they're in doesn't seem like it would work. But I could be
Whatever,
wrong.
dude.
Okay,
I'll
we'll
agree
move on.
with you, though. Mo's only got one.
He only got one. Maybe someone killed some people and like tried to blame him on old Mose. That's a good
Oh, that's
frame.
smart.
Yeah.
A
It
different
stuck
bear.
because they really wanted to kill old Mose, but he was really hard to kill. He's a smart old bear, and he'd managed to steal a lot of bait from a lot of traps. The only time he was ever caught in a trap was when one was placed underwater and therefore had no scent, so he couldn't realize that it was a trap. He did get free of that trap, though, and he left 2 toes behind, so he was old 3 toes.
Yeah.
And dozens of hunters tried to kill him over the years. Many of them successfully actually shot old Mose, but they all failed to kill him until 1904, when a famous bear hunter from Idaho and Wyoming decided to try his luck. This guy's name was James W. Anthony, and his secret weapon was a pack of hound dogs that were very good at chasing down grizzly bears and baying them up. You guys know what baying up a bear means? Jeff, you know this. It's in there.
Is it just getting him up a tree?
Close. That's treeing. So if that's treeing, what's baying?
Getting him in the ocean?
Getting him in the Hudson Bay.
No. Baying just kind of means they surround the bear and push it up against a place where it doesn't want to run anymore. So sometimes that'll be against like a rock wall or against just an area. With grizzly bears, if dogs chase them long enough, they'll finally just kind of turn around and decide that they're going to fight. And then the dogs just kind of know to keep a certain distance, and it just keeps the bear in one spot. Okay, so that's
I think
his
this guy needs to pick one place to be from. You can't be from 2 states.
Idaho and Wyoming. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
even
that's
think they
crazy.
were states, though, back then. So I think he was just from that part of the country, those territories. But fair.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Coming from the
Well,
guy that
that's
every
not
time he
fair.
tells someone
Yeah.
where he's from, it's somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I
true.
was about to say. You like, if anyone asked where you were from, you'd have like 10 answers.
Yeah.
So, when he arrived in Colorado, it took Anthony about a month to finally find a fresh track from old Mose. And when he did, his hounds were on the chase. He followed the barking dogs and found them surrounding the biggest grizzly bear that he'd ever seen. He dismounted from his horse, walked up close to the bear and the dogs, and raised his rifle. He fired, but his aim was off, and when he shot, he hit old Mose in the throat. And his dogs have been taught
Doesn't
to back
seem
off.
like too bad of a shot.
Yeah, it sounds
It's
like
not
a
where
pretty...
you want to hit a bear. There's a
Mm.
lot in there that it'll just pass through and not do any real damage. And that's what happened in this case. The dogs have been taught to back off at the sound of his rifle, too. So when he shot, they backed off. And old Mose did his thing. What did he do, Mike?
Woof? No, he bayed the dogs. I
He
don't know, man.
moseyed off into the bush. Just moseyed
Just like
off.
a slow mosey.
That's what it says, that he just slowly walked
Unbothered.
off into the brush.
Wow.
But then his intrusive thoughts got the best of him, old Mose, and he decided he wasn't actually going to walk away, and he turned and charged at his tormentors. Anthony fired a few more shots at essentially point-blank range, and one of them grazed old Mose's neck and caused him to break off his charge. This guy's really good at hitting him in the neck, but that's not where he's aiming. Anthony, who's got to be really brave, decides that he's not going to accept a stalemate, and he runs up behind old Mose and he fires another shot. This bullet actually hits him behind the shoulder and then goes through his shoulder, passes through his lungs, and exits out his breast. And now old Mose is pissed. He turns to charge, but Anthony was ready for this charge, and he fires his final shot. And this shot actually separated the part of old Mose's spine that connects his neck to his head, and it was enough to drop this big old bear. But like the best slashers, movie slashers, or in my opinion, the best movie heroes, however you want to look at this, old Mose still struggled one last time to get up and moved forward toward his attacker, but his strength gave out and he fell, breathing his last breath. When they examined his body, they found somewhere around 20 healed bullet wounds and one old bullet that was still lodged in his spine. His skull was 14 inches across and 15 inches long, and it was the largest ever grizzly bear skull measured from Colorado.
Damn.
It's a lot of bullets to get shot by. It's a lot more
Yeah.
than 50 cent.
It's true.
50 cent ain't shit, dude.
No.
You can come into my house. I don't care. Actually, don't. Please don't.
When he needed freaking doctors to help him out. Bear didn't
Yeah,
need any
50
doctors.
Yeah, it just walked off.
You ever see the music video for Into Club? He's got like a whole fleet of physicians and stuff just training him. Eminem comes
remember
and
that
checks up
one.
on him. He's doing those
yeah.
like upside
He's
down
got all
hanging
the-
sit-ups.
Yeah, I do kind of remember that.
Maybe he did get shot by all those bullets. He's tough.
Yeah,
I mean, he has scars from some of them, for sure.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll give it to him.
Yeah.
All right, so in the late 1800s and early 1900s, we enter the real heyday of the grizzly slaughter in Colorado. And that was made much easier with the proliferation of higher caliber, multiple shot rifles. So we're going to take a quick look at two different historical accounts about grizzly bears in Colorado that are just 55 years apart. So in 1855, Captain J.W. Gunnison is surveying the wilds of south central Colorado, and he says the following when he's talking about the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, which are the mountains that border the present-day Great Sand Dunes National Park. This is what he said. Sportsmen's spirits are excited by grouse and pheasants, deer and grizzly bear, in every valley and every glen. So he pretty much said that every valley and glen he saw, there was a grizzly bear in it. And then in 1911, 55 years later, the Department of Agriculture sponsored a biological survey of the state. And federal biologist Merritt Carey had this to say about grizzlies at that point. At present, grizzly bears are uncommon, if not rare, in the northern mountains, but are occasionally seen in the wilder mountains of southern Colorado, particularly in the San Juan, La Plata, and San Miguel ranges. Small numbers are found in the San Juan Mountains north of Pagosa Springs and Vallecito, and an average of 1 or 2 had been killed north of Pagosa Springs every spring until 1907, when none were killed. Grizzlies were quite common in the higher San Juan Mountains as late as 1873. I have no data of this bear along the eastern slopes or the Front Range, and it appears now to be extremely rare or entirely absent. So just in those short 55 years, we went from having a bear in almost every single valley and glen to people hardly ever seeing them anywhere in the state. It really goes to show just how effective this all was. But we're going to get into like how it got even worse for them. And the true death knell really came for them in the early 1900s when the U.S. federal government got actively involved in the wholesale slaughter of predators in an effort to ramp up livestock and agriculture production. Okay, bear with me here. A big step in that process was the formation of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Predator and Rodent Control Branch, which was called PARC for short. And the PARC got really wild with their tactics for killing predators, and no method was deemed too extreme or inhumane. This is another little trigger warning because some of the stuff they did to these animals was terrible, but I do think it just merits kind of saying this because it's part of our history here in the U.S. One of the most sadistic trapping methods they used was what was called a keg trap. And this is essentially a big beer keg that was baited, and they drove all these big spike-sized nails into the keg. So these nails are pointing inward inside of the keg, and then they'd put the bait in the back. And when the bear or the wolf or whatever stuck its head in to get that bait, these nails would catch on it, and as they tried to struggle to get out, they would drive in further, and they would drive in far enough that they were stuck into the animal, and then they have a beer keg stuck on their head, and most of these animals would just die from starvation, and they're also in incredible pain from all these nails driving into their head. So it's a terrible way to kill an animal. I can't think of a much worse way. And thinking of a grizzly bear with one of these on its head, like, makes me so sad and angry that I almost, like, don't even know how to process that. It's just so terrible. Like,
That's
even when you see a
infuriating.
video of just a bear with, like, a bucket stuck on its head, it's sad. And this is just unbelievable. So,
Yeah.
okay. A more effective and less inhumane, but still really terrible method they used was something called a coyote getter. And that was basically a bait that's booby trapped with an exploding cyanide bullet that would literally blast into the mouth of the animal unlucky enough to eat this bait. So they'd bite into the bait and this thing would explode cyanide into their mouth. Which isn't, like, if you're going to die, that's not the worst way to die. You're going to die in like seconds.
Yeah.
But it's the problem with something like this. The biggest, I mean, it's already a huge problem, but it's totally not targeted toward anything. So you can put this bait out and you might have ground squirrels come up to it and feed on it, coyotes, wolves, vultures, golden eagles, bears, anything that might want a free meal could get exploded by this thing.
Javier Bardem, he didn't die. So maybe there's
That's
like
true,
a
from
Javier
cyanide.
Bardem
Yeah.
out there that lived through it. He's got like a huge grudge
Yeah.
against the CIA or whatever. MI.
Do you guys think
What
he's
is
the best Bond villain of the like modern ones?
Oh, I don't know. Lashif is so good in
Ooh, Lashif is really good.
Casino Royale or whatever.
Just
that,
smacking
yeah.
his balls with that thing.
Dude.
He sure does hit him. He hits him so
That's a
hard.
good villain move. Yeah.
When I watched that
I don't
movie, I was
know.
like, oh, I'd be dead after the first one of those. I'd just be done.
Right?
I'd tell him anything. Like anything.
It
he
seems
wants
like
to
for
know.
the rest of the 5 Daniel Craig movies, he would just kind of be like not.
He shouldn't ever be able to have sex again in his life. Like his balls were
Yeah, or-
pulverized. Yeah.
Right. That's a fun thing to think about, actually.
Yeah. Jeff, you got nothing to say about that?
Yeah.
Come on.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm pretty sure he had sex afterwards.
He sure did, didn't he? We
That's-
saw it.
That's the difference between the common man and 007. They can take
Balls of steel, dude.
Yeah,
He
they can-
could take that.
Yeah.
He was
Right.
getting hit.
He was joking. during it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He
that's
said a little bit
crazy.
to the left.
Yeah,
That's
I love
right.
that scene. He was ripped in that scene too.
I think Bardem's
Ooh.
villain's my best of the Craig villains. I really like him.
Did you use cyanide in the bear collars when you blew their heads off?
No,
Oh my gosh.
we did not.
So inhumane.
And we didn't blow any bear heads off. All right. This cyanide thing, this coyote getter, was extremely effective. And they used it all the time. And aside from the indigenous people that still remained in Colorado, almost no one seemed to care that they were doing this. So while these government trappers are really running roughshod all over the predators in Colorado and elsewhere in the West, the war against predators was officially codified into law with the passage of the Animal Damage Control Act in 1931. It was a terrible act. It created a new federal agency that was charged with the eradication, suppression, or bringing under control of animals injurious to agriculture. So basically, any animal that threatened agriculture in any way was deemed an enemy of the United States.
Man,
And they were, yeah.
it's crazy now though to see predators doing so well,
Yeah. And
like running the government.
sexual predators, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah,
Or
It is a
dominating the box
real-
office when they
On
don't
both
deserve
sides.
exactly. Or
Yeah.
losing. Yeah. That's a good point, Jeff. Predators are having a real heyday right now.
It's like either side, predators are gonna win. you know?
Yeah. You can be president of the United States. Basically, the idea was that even more government trappers were given the full-time job of killing as many predators as possible, all in order to maximize profits and the output of ranchers and farmers. And I want to take a minute that, like, reading and researching all of this did make me think to be a little bit appreciative of how far we've come politically when it comes to conservation. But I do think the current climate here in the US has swung back toward the idea of maximum profit over everything else. And it does feel like we're kind of drifting back toward a concerning view of wildlife as like almost like it's like the frosting on top. It's something that, I don't know, what am I trying to say? It's not something that actually matters. It's just kind of like a bonus.
Sure.
We just need like a way to get fossil fuel involved with it, like with windmills, where
Yeah.
they're like, think about all the birds they kill. Like if
Yeah.
windmills were killing bears, it'd be like, oh man, we gotta save these bears.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true. If we can tie the plight of predators into like pushing forward fossil fuels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one question for you.
Uh-huh.
So, like, I know Colorado has the most elk of any state.
Yeah, I think that's
I was
true.
wondering, do you think, where do you think, like, Colorado ranked for grizzly bears during this time period? Like, during, like, the heyday of grizzly bears in America?
I think pretty high. And the reason I think that is because they were the last state where they were completely eradicated. The states that now have grizzly bears are the ones that still had them. So I think outside of like Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, and Washington, and Alaska, obviously, Colorado probably was next highest when it came to grizzly bear population, would be my guess. California probably had a lot too, because California has some great habitat. But Colorado is pretty much all grizzly bear habitat, aside from the far eastern part of the state. So that'd be my guess.
You think a bear ever climbed a sequoia, a redwood?
I'm sure black bears climb them, yeah.
Like all the way to the top? That's cool.
Yeah. I don't know if they've gone all the way to the top, but probably. Just like the Alex Honnold of black bears.
Yeah, free soloing.
Yeah.
It's too bad Nevada got rid of all theirs before they could see the sphere.
Yeah.
They would have loved it.
Really sad. I think about that all the time. All right. In the early 1900s, these trappers were responsible for the deaths of thousands and thousands of Colorado bears, both black and grizzly. And in 1941, just 10 years after the passage of the Animal Damage Control Act, it was thought that only about 12 grizzlies were still surviving in Colorado.
It's
And
not
all
enough.
of them, nope. All of
You
them were
want more.
thought to be in the areas in and around the San Juan Mountains. Quickly, let's take a quick minute to talk about the San Juans. Have either of you been to the San Juan Mountains?
Yes, sir.
I don't
Where
know.
have you been, Mike? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly, no, but
Okay.
I think
Well,
I
if you're out there
probably have.
wondering like where the San Juans are, if you've ever been to like Telluride or Silverton, Colorado, or Ouray, Colorado, those are in the San Juan Mountains. They're high, rugged peaks. There's 13 peaks in the San Juans that are higher than 14,000 feet. 14,000 feet. And there's a lot of almost shockingly blue high mountain lakes. The bluest lake I've ever seen in my life was Columbine Lake in the San Juan Mountains. It was almost unbelievably blue. They have some of the most beautiful mountains that I've ever personally been in, and they really do seem like prime grizzly bear habitat. And this range stretches really far too. It's about 150 miles from southwestern Colorado into northern New Mexico. So it makes sense that this would be the last stronghold of these grizzly bears in Colorado.
that's where they reintroduced lynx, I believe. That was
They
kind
may
of a big
have,
story
yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something like 250. I forget how many they re-released, but that was kind of a big story around the time we were living there.
Yeah. And I don't know if you could really even put grizzly bears back there because there are so many little mountain towns scattered throughout now. But they would do great if they did go back in there. It's great habitat. But for these trappers, 12 grizzlies was still 12 too many. One of the more successful government trappers was named Lloyd Anderson. He decided to wage a personal war on some of the last few remaining grizzlies in the San Juans. In 1952, he was called into the San Juans to the headwaters of the Los Pinos River, where a bear had killed over 30 sheep. He set a foothold trap in what's called a cubby, which is like essentially a chute that you build out of logs and stuff that funnels the bear into an area where the trap is set. And he managed to trap what was thought to be the last grizzly bear in the entire state of Colorado, a big sow with 2 yearling cubs, which both escaped. But people still thought this was the last grizzly. Which doesn't make any sense. Don't ask me to explain that.
He still
Okay.
got credit.
Yep, the government pretty much said, we got them all. We got them all. And he was even like, just so you guys know, there's 2 cubs that got away. And they're like, nope, all the grizzlies are dead.
It's kind of
2 years-
interesting how, like, Lloyd was a hero for that, and now
I
he's
know.
kind of a villain in at least our eyes.
Yeah, there's a really kind of pensive chapter of the book where the author interviews one of these guys that was a government trapper back in that day, and he had killed one of the last grizzlies, and he like asks him how he felt about that, and he's like, I mean, I regret it, but back at the time that was my job, and he kind of goes into how he
Sure.
feels about it. But the local government of Colorado, and
That's what the Nazis said.
yeah, that's true. I'm not excusing it, but That's true.
That's what
Not
they
all
said.
of them.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's a Nazi, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's what the Nazis said. So
you're
come
you're
to
right.
your own conclusion.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna let you say that, and I'm not gonna say anything else. The government made a big deal out of saying that this bear was the last grizzly in Colorado, and 2 years later, they officially declared the species extirpated in the state, and Anderson was told that he could no longer shoot grizzlies, even if he saw one. And this begins the ghost grizzlies period of Colorado, which basically was a span of time where people would report seeing grizzly bears in ranges like the San Juans or the Sangre de Cristos, but the state and federal government really didn't make too much of an effort to deny or to verify those claims. They kind of just let them claim whatever, but no one really checked into it. These white settlers that had never gotten permission from the Great Bear to go into the mountains had now slaughtered one of the most spiritually and biologically important animals of the Rockies. And over the next 25 years, from 1954 to 1979, officials received a lot of reports of grizzly sightings in Colorado from hunters, from trappers, from hikers, from Forest Service workers. Some of these sightings were solitary males, others were females with cubs. Some were just tracks in the mud. Even Lloyd Anderson, this trapper, who was certain that he had killed the last grizzly bear aside from those two cubs, filed 5 reports of new grizzly bear sightings, but they all went ignored. And most of these reports came from the San Juan Mountains. And what the state would pretty much just say is, oh, you saw a black bear. It's hard to tell the difference between the two. You saw a black bear.
That's what you always say.
I do say that it's hard, but I'm very good at telling those two apart.
Whenever someone sees a bear in
Grizzly.
Colorado, you say you saw a black bear. It just
Yes.
looks
Right.
brown.
Yes, and we're going to talk about that in the next episode a little bit. But
You scoff derisively. It's pretty insulting, actually.
I don't usually scoff derisively. But maybe if it was like a bear biologist, I would say you should know better, man. Come on.
Mm.
For the next 25 years, grizzly bears were considered extinct in the state, even though a lot of these people who knew the mountains best and had a lot of experience with grizzly bears were reporting sightings. But as those sightings died down and were fewer and further in between, just about everyone started to agree that the grizzly bear was truly forever gone from the Centennial State. But the ghost grizzly would make one last appearance in 1979, and it would be one that was soaked in blood. And that's on next week's episode.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's a crazy story.
Jeez. I thought they were all dead.
Nope. That's what you think, Jeff, but they're not.
Oh my God.
Well, they are now, but they weren't in 1979.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm pretty confident now. I would say like 99.9% confidence that there's no grizzlies in Colorado. But again, we're going to talk about that next week.
Okay.
You fuckers got any questions?
Bah.
No.
Okay. Is it because of how I asked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Sorry.
think I've been thinking about grizzly bear with infinity stones? I forget why I was thinking about those two things together. Bears can't
Yeah.
snap though, so I don't think that would really do anything.
I feel like if
Can
it
they?
had the infinity stones, there would just suddenly be like huckleberries everywhere.
Mm.
You know?
That's
What
a
if
future
it
I like
only
to
had
envision.
2 fingers?
Yeah. Old
Yeah,
potatoes.
and they're like hard ones to snap, like a pinky and a
Yeah.
pointer. You can't really snap with those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might be wasted on a grizzly bear.
Yeah. It makes sense that that's not what happened in the movies, that it wasn't a
Yeah.
grizzly bear. To me, that makes sense. But I'm glad we finally talked about it. Any other questions?
That was your question? Is just what if they had the infinity stones?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
No, I got my answer. I'm satisfied.
Mhm. Mhm. All right. Well, let's go on to our categories then.
Great.
I'm curious what your favorite pop culture that takes place in Colorado is. That's a terrible way to ask that question. What's your favorite pop culture that takes place in Colorado? Sorry. I feel like Yoda.
You look
Grogu.
like Yoda.
I kind of do. Which one?
I'm going to go with Dumb and Dumber. I think that was like the one
That was
that
mine.
really
Yeah.
it made some good jokes about Colorado. It was actually like pretty scenic. You know, it makes you feel like, oh, I'm in Colorado right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I feel like it was during
the
a time
clothes.
too when Colorado was like super bougie. It was like the place to go if you're like wanting to like have a ski vacation, you know? Aspen just seemed like the nicest place in the country. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Which one was dumb and which one was dumber?
That's a good question.
Lloyd
Harry
Christmas
was
seems
dumb.
like the dumber of the two,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. But I don't
They're
know.
both really dumb.
They're so dumb. That's
Yeah.
that's the crux of the humor, in fact.
Yeah. I thought that was the funniest movie ever for most of my life. And it is really funny,
Yeah.
Me too.
but it doesn't quite hit like it used to. That was my pick too. But I have a backup. But Mike, why don't you go next?
I'm going to go. So basically, I'm just going to say pick your favorite band and go watch a live recording at Red Rocks of their performance. Because basically every band of note has a really high quality live recording. But for the intent of this category, I'm going
Zach
with Primus.
Bryan.
You're going with what?
No. Primus, their 2010 show at Red Rocks. They played Golden Boy, which is my favorite song. It's off their Brown album. They just rarely play it live. And Larry, he has like the sickest guitar part, and the solo is just amazing. And Primus, they always put on a good show. So
Yeah.
that's mine.
Did they play the South Park theme song in Colorado? They should have. You would hope so.
They would have written it by then, yeah. So maybe.
Yeah. Oh, South Park. I didn't even think about South Park. But I'm gonna say The Shining. Shining's in Colorado. And Doctor Sleep. They're both
That's
great.
right.
They're both in Colorado. So those be my
Yeah.
picks. Yeah.
The Overlook.
Brokeback.
Is that in Colorado? No, that's in Wyoming.
Ah, yeah.
Wrong.
Those states are shaped the same though, so it's basically
They're
like
both
it happened
squares.
in Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next category is your favorite movie that is a last movie. So, for example, The Last Jedi or The Last of the Mohicans.
Going with Indiana Jones.
Oh, The Last Crusade.
Yeah, it's my favorite of the three. I won't say it's the best because that's a dumb and inane thing to say. Plus, I think objectively, it kind of inarguable that Raiders is like maybe the most perfect
Yeah.
action movie. I don't know. That's I'm getting into dangerous territory, but I do prefer Last Crusade. It's just got
Raiders
it
feels like an action movie, and Last Crusade's almost like a buddy movie. You know?
all. It is a little with Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean
Yeah.
Connery is so funny in it. Oh my
He
gosh.
is.
Yeah.
What's yours, Jeff?
I did feel like it's crazy to use the Last of the Mohicans as a
You can use it.
example.
You can use it.
It's like the
Titanic
biggest-
for men. Dude, speaking of really boring, that night in the Chamber of the Goblets, just like sitting there for a billion years,
Yeah.
not doing anything.
Staring at those
Gosh.
goblets. Probably jerked off a lot. All right.
You got to imagine.
Jeff, what's your last of movie?
No, it'd probably be Last of Mohicans. The Last Survivor.
Last podcast on the left.
Yeah, I like that.
The Last Dance was a
Ooh,
close
yeah.
one.
There you go.
I'm going to pick Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest.
Hey,
I loved that movie when it came out. And I loved, you remember the like guy, the bad guy that's like all made of like grime and smoke and stuff?
right.
It's so good.
That is such
song.
I had a big crush on Ferngully.
Oh yeah. What was their name?
I
What
don't
if you
know.
said like the bat?
Yeah, really. What's the bat? I'm thinking
Uh,
of the bat from Anastasia.
The bat was Robin
Anastasia.
Williams.
Oh,
Batty.
cow.
His name was Batty. Not very
Oh, there you go.
not very creative. Hexus was the victim, played by Tim Curry. Always good. Of course it
The
was Tim
best.
Curry.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, and Tone Loc was the big lizard, which is really cool.
Tone Loc.
Tone Loc. Am I saying it wrong? Okay.
The rapper?
Yeah. Tone Loc. My bad. Okay. If someone's trying to trap you personally, what would they use for bait? And for your answers, I want a food thing and a non-food thing. What are just two things you wouldn't be able to turn down, even though you maybe are worried that there might be a trap nearby?
Yeah, I mean, for food, it'd be like a box of pizza with one slice missing.
Why is one slice missing?
Just because, like, it's not my pizza, but it shows me someone already ate a slice, so it's, like, fair game now.
Yeah.
It's not poison.
Is that how that
Yeah.
works? Whenever there's
I don't want
want
to be, like, the first person to eat someone else's pizza. Like, if
Yeah.
they ordered the pizza,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's
That's
thoughtful of you.
considerate. Yeah.
Yeah. And
How about
then
your non-food thing?
Non-food thing, I would probably have like, that's tough actually. The Ring of Power.
Yeah, it's hard to turn that down.
Oh man,
Just because it
that's better than
called
mine,
to
I
me.
think.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good
You
one.
know? It
Yeah.
would call to me. I don't think I could resist that.
No, there's no way. Yeah. I had picked a maple bar donut for my food because I just feel like that's the hardest thing for me not to take. It's not like it's my favorite thing, but if there's just one out, I think like 99 times out of 100, I'm taking it, you know?
You're at least going to check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to take a bite. And then that's my donut I take when I'm just shopping and I just want a little snack while I'm shopping. And
Right.
then,
Literally take.
yeah.
Without
my
well,
my
whatever.
non-food thing would be just a really pretty rock, I think would be the trickiest thing because I'm going to want to take it and pick it up, but it's not going to throw off any alarms or make me feel like I'm about to get trapped. So that'd be the thing that would trap me.
What about like a T-Rex skull?
Ooh, that's good. It'd be hard not to pick up a T-Rex skull. If
I think
one's
it'd be
just
hard
laying
to
out there.
pick one up, right?
Yeah,
Aren't they
it
pretty
would
heavy?
be. They're very heavy.
Nicolas Cage does it.
Does
I
he own a
think.
T-Rex skull?
Or was that Leo? Someone,
No, it's
someone.
Nicolas Cage.
I know
I think a lot
Leo
of them
has
own
one
just
too, I
shit,
think.
yeah.
What kind of pretty stone? Are we talking like gemstone or?
I'm talking like just a really pretty like blue stone, like a piece of turquoise or something would be really hard for me not to pick up, or like a really pretty green stone. Blues and greens always catch my eye.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a nice plump slice of carrot cake. Been into
Ooh.
that recently.
I love carrot cake.
Oh man, with the one we had in Costa Rica was pretty good. It had real legit cream cheese frosting on it. Great time with that. The ratio, sometimes they load too many raisins in there, and I'm not too big a fan of that. So you need to get that, I don't know, like 6 raisins per slice is what I'm thinking. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And
And
what's
then,
your
speak-
non-food?
Speaking of Nick Cage, I think I'm going to take the Declaration of Independence. Because what man amongst us would not be tempted to procure the Declaration of Independence?
It's true. There might be some like some stuff on there, some treasure maps.
Yeah.
Just like a treasure map would be a good answer too.
Yeah, that is
That's
a great
true.
answer. There's no way I'm turning
Yeah.
that down.
Because then I won't have the people probably won't be chasing me. At least like government officials. Maybe they would. I don't know.
Well, like,
All right.
and I'm just thinking the Declaration of Independence. Like, there's a pretty good chance there's a treasure map on it, but you could just say
Yeah.
a treasure map.
Yeah, that's true. There's no guarantee. I could, if anyone infringed on my basic human rights, I could just pull it out though and be like, I don't know what to tell you. I've got this declaration here that says I'm allowed to exercise my rights as a human here in this country.
That's true. You'd always have that.
Right.
So when me and Mike first started being friends, and Jeff, but Jeff and Mike started a little earlier than me. But when I first met Mike, I was pretty proud of being from the state of Montana, which I still am, and Jeff is too. And we bragged about it a lot, and Mike would talk about Colorado, and as kind of a joke, Mike would send me the most depressing photos ever of Colorado. We've talked about this before, but it would just be like a kind of brownish stream with like in November, late November, and just
beautiful.
like no real context.
Uh-huh.
Just really weird photos, like photos that if you got from a friend that wasn't Mike, you'd be like, hey, are you okay, man? Like, are you doing all right?
And it makes me want to visit.
Yeah. And he would say, look at Colorado. So I asked Mike to do 5 reasons to visit Colorado. Kind of like, this is like a blurb you would read on an airport magazine or something.
All right.
So what do you got for us?
Should we adjust it to say to visit Colorado instead of Montana?
Sure.
Yeah. You won't find any of these things in, well, yeah, we'll see.
All right.
I'm going sicko mode on this one. You guys, by the end of the first bullet point, you guys are going to be like, oh my gosh, he was right all along. So first up is Glenwood Canyon. You drive through that canyon, you'll think you're driving through a movie set, basically.
That is a beautiful
That's how
canyon.
you'll feel.
Yeah.
And if you want to take that little offshoot up towards Hanging Lake, pretty cool hike. And then at the end of Glenwood Canyon lies Glenwood Springs. You can visit Doc Holliday's gravestone. That's pretty sick, right?
It is.
This one is not like you can't really go there in order to visit this place specifically, at least not all the way. But if you're ever
Number
flying
2.
into Denver, the airport's kind of cool. There's Blucifer, the haunted horse.
The haunted
There's-
stallion.
There's gargoyles. There's all kinds of cool art.
There's
Some
like a-
Illuminati conspiracy going on in there.
Dead leopard with like women's clothing around it.
You'll get that, yeah, in the baggage claim of the international ingestion point. That was weird.
That was a
Yeah.
little weird. You get to
Okay.
hike. If you really want to hike in Colorado,
You
guess
get
what?
your steps in.
Just go to customs. You get to hike about 3 miles. Yeah.
It was wild. Longest walk I've ever done in an airport somehow. Beaver Creek is my favorite mountain upon which to snowboard. I think it's the best, but that's just a personal preference. But there's all kinds of awesome ski resorts. Breckenridge, we got Steamboat, Vail right next door, Aspen, of course. Rare, but like I brought up earlier, it is not impossible that you'll cross paths with a lynx while you're up in them mountains in the Vail Valley. We got Palisade peaches, which is one of those fruits, peaches.
Oh, I love peaches.
When
Yeah.
like Nick Cage at the start of Face Off, he's
Yeah,
talking about eating a peach.
for
He
an
does
hour.
love eating
I think
peach,
I
trust me.
think he's talking about Palisade peaches, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Or call
I
you
think-
call me by your name. Also a great peach scene in that movie.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think,
think
Jeff?
he's-
What peach do you think?
Kind of doing like an innuendo.
Oh, is that what he's doing, you think?
I
Yeah.
thought so.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Peaches are a
Okay.
sensual fruit, turns out.
Yeah, that's true. And while you're in Palisade, you can see the cool little plateaus. That's a pretty little pocket of Colorado. This
I
is
like
mostly
that place.
This
Yeah.
is like the western slope. This is where I spent most of my time when I lived in Colorado. So nothing really on the eastern half. And then last point is the Winter X Games, which are held every year in Aspen. And that's fun. That's always a good time. The snowmobile, there's like that's big air snowmobile. That's a wild event. That's worth seeing live at least once. It's really weird.
When they
All right.
switch faces, he probably still liked Peaches just as much with the new face, right? Like they still had the same tongues and stuff.
You think? Oh, you're right. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
the taste buds don't change. They didn't do taste bud
It'd be
off.
kind of fun to eat peaches with someone's new face.
You know that John
Yeah.
Travolta's wife just loved that peach eating.
Seems like she had a really wow.
All right.
If you ate
Next
a peach with
category.
someone else's face, you wouldn't have to worry about like how gross and
Getting
slimy
all
you got
sticky
it.
and stuff. I know.
Yeah.
I wish I could borrow someone's face every time I eat a peach.
Right.
Your favorite wildlife moment from Costa Rica? I'm going to go first. Mine
Okay.
was the first red-eyed tree frogs that we saw. I know they're really common there. I know they're easy to find, but that's just like an iconic frog that I had just seen in photos and videos and movies at the Rainforest Cafe over and over and over again my entire life, and just like a symbol of the rainforest. And seeing the first ones we saw in live, which seeing them live on the Caribbean side with like the bright blue down the sides and stuff, I was just like pretty mesmerized by how cool they look. So that was my favorite, I think.
They were sweet.
Yeah. How about you guys?
I'm going to say, and this is a shout out to an episode Jeff and I did by ourselves, which you've probably listened to by now, Wes, I'm sure. We saw the cordyceps mushroom zombie ant happening on a night hike. And it was
That
like
was
far
super
from the
cool.
most head turning kind of thing you could see out on a hike like that. But just the fact that I had talked a little bit about it in an episode and it just slipped from my brain as one of those things that's cool, but I'll probably never see that really. And then
Yeah.
we did. And our guide said it was actually really rare. So I felt that was really kind of a lucky and special moment for me, at least. But it was really cool just to see some mushrooms sprouting out of the back of this ant and waiting to
It was really
spread
cool.
its spores. It was
Yeah.
really sweet. Yeah,
He did say that about like 10 things we saw.
that's
but-
true. Yeah.
Yeah. It does though. When
Uh,
I've seen that in documentaries, I always thought like this probably happened like 5 times. You know, it probably like,
Yeah.
hardly ever happens. But then seeing
Right.
it made me think like, oh wow, this is like we're witnessing something really cool here.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I'll go with the third sloth we saw. Just like a really good view of it.
Mhm.
My sloth episode I did forever ago gave me like such an appreciation for them being able to survive. So I don't know, I thought it was really cool to like see how well they blend into their surroundings and like how well they've adapted to the world.
Yeah,
I like that.
for sure.
It's a good pick. All right. I've got a couple listener questions from Patreon. This one is from Hannah. Hannah says, could you please tell me who you would F, marry, and kill out of Quint, Hooper, and Brody from Jaws?
F?
Yeah.
All of them, I think.
I think
I'd kill Hooper. He's kind of
Yeah,
annoying.
That's what I was going to
He's
say.
a little annoying.
Yeah.
Critical part of the team, of course, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to f Quint. I'm going to kill Hooper. I'm marrying Brody.
I don't think
Brody.
marrying Brody's good. I don't know.
Yeah,
it
he is
seemed
kinda
there's
like-
some weird stuff going on there.
That's true. And he's kind of anxious. Like, you're going to get a
Yeah,
little
and he
tired
just,
of like him telling you what to do all the time.
Yeah. In part 2, Jaws 2, he loses
you're
his
right,
job and
Jeff.
he's kind of a burnout alcoholic
Yeah.
type. So I'd be married to Quint because he's gone
Yeah.
all the time anyway, right?
That's what I was about to say. Quint's always out like chasing his demons. And you just rested at home. I'd marry Quint.
I'll
Yeah.
fuck Brody, marry Quint, because Quint gets eaten by the shark. Life insurance policy probably paid out pretty decent on that if you're married to him.
Good call. Yeah. And
Yeah.
plus, like, yeah. It'd suck, though, whenever he wants to get your attention, he just scratches nails on a chalkboard, though. That'd
Yeah.
get pretty annoying. Just
think I'm
anytime
actually-
he wants to talk about anything. He just carries a little, like,
Yeah.
chalkboard
It's
around
just
his waist
small,
everywhere he
dude.
goes.
I think I'm gonna f Hooper because in the book
Okay.
he has sex with Brody's wife, so he must
That's
be
true.
like quite the Lothario if he's able to pull that off so quickly. And I'll kill
Right.
Brody. We're all marrying Quint.
Wow.
You know?
Am I
Nothing
going
like
to kill
a
my guy,
sailor.
Roy? I love Roy, though.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm still, I'm killing Hooper still.
Okay. All right. I've got a few more here. This one is from Derek. Derek says, Jeff and Mike, did you see Tom Brady wearing a one-piece shirt on one of his interviews? Does that make up for him smooching his son on the lips?
Wait.
I did. I thought it was really cool. And I hope that he's a fan of it and not just like having a person dress him in what the kids think is cool or something. I
Yeah.
think it's 50-50 chance either way. Like, he does have kids that would be into it, so I could see that being like a bonding thing. And also kissing his kid is a bonding thing.
Right.
Listen, he had a Brazilian wife.
He did.
I'm sure
Yeah.
she brought that culture into the household.
Yeah,
I don't know.
right.
A lot of people kiss
They love kissing.
their kids, you know? It's a
Yeah.
little weird, but I don't shame
Kid kissers.
because I don't think it would. I thought it was obviously a non-sexual
Yeah.
thing and just a
non-sexual.
loving thing.
Of course.
I agree.
I can't imagine. I love my dad. He is the best person I know. But like, if he had kissed me on the lips, we would be estranged right now.
Oh, yeah. I'd stick my head in one of those keg traps if my dad kissed me on the lips.
Cyanide bomb
Yeah.
myself or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Jeez.
mean, but your dad's pretty cool, but he's no Tom Brady.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, I can't.
If I'm Tom Brady's kid, when dad goes to bed, I'd be like, what, no kiss?
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. It's like, oh, what? The greatest quarterback of all time kissed you on the lips and you're going to complain about it to your therapist? I don't think so, dude.
That's a good point.
All right, this one's from
Once
Bear.
again,
Bear called Bear. First time question. Hey guys, it finally happened at the time of writing. I've listened to every single episode. I'm pretty sure this makes me an official bona fide wildlife biologist, just like Jeff. I've been sitting on this question for 200 episodes because I want to make sure no one had asked it yet. I hope that each of you has had the wonderful experience of delivering a perfect slap on the ass to someone at least once in your life. Not in a sexual way, but in a way that a good high five just feels so good. I'm gonna throw a consensual slap in the ass there. With this in
Sure.
mind, the question is, if you could smack one animal on the butt without any negative consequences to you or the animal, what animal would you choose? Mine is a hippo. That's what they said, not me.
okay.
Hippo's a good choice.
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
I have smacked a bison on the butt before. I would smack. I mean, my mind always goes to pandas just because they're so rare.
Really?
And it just feels like such a nice butt to smack.
Do you know whose butts
Yeah.
I was really impressed by were zebra? They got
Oh, yeah.
a sturdy, thick rump.
They do have a
Wow.
nice butt. Horse butt. Yeah.
Hmm.
And like, if you smack a zebra, you're expecting to get kicked really hard afterwards. So if you get a free smack, that's got to feel really good. That's a
Right.
good pick. It's a great pick.
I think I'll go mandrill.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Those
The
red,
blue?
like nasty butts. Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Cool.
smack that.
Yeah.
That's a
That
good,
like
good call.
weird lumpy butt. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
This one is from Emily. Emily says, question for Wes. Please explain how or why centipedes are so freaky for you. They're not so freaky. They're just like the one thing. When you licked a smush spider right off the floor, is it the legs? Did you ever eat a centipede? The spider floor snack is the most unhinged thing I've ever heard. I just think about that at least every other day. At that time, had I had the opportunity to eat a centipede, I definitely would have eaten a centipede. Like nothing was stopping me from eating those bugs. That fear, it's not even a fear. It's more just like they kind of give me the willies. That's for whatever reason that just started later in life for me. So yeah, I definitely would have done it.
I'm still thinking about the spank question real quick. I'm gonna spank Shelob from Lord of the Rings because it turns
Ooh.
out she's like a really hot lady from that one video game.
According to the game. Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Okay, fast
All
forward.
right.
Let's get back to whatever the hell we're talking about.
Okay,
I
this
feel
one's
like
for
it's kind of obvious why a centipede would creep someone out, right? Even
Yeah.
even with me where they don't, I like get it.
Yeah, I think they were just saying like, why a centipede if you're willing to lick a spider off the
If
floor?
you eat bugs.
Yeah.
I get that.
All right, this one's from Rachel, and it's just for you two. If you could remake any movie but cast the Muppets, what movie would it be?
I'll go with Sunset Boulevard. I think Muppets in a film noir would just really do it for me.
That's a great.
And playing it
great-
straight. You know, the dialogue doesn't change a single iota. We're just going straight, deep, dark, heavy, smoky detective, fallen
Yeah.
from grace film noir stuff.
I weirdly think we've answered this before, but there's a million possibilities. So I think I'll go with Saving Private Ryan.
That's another really, really good answer. I can just see like a Muppet slowly driving a knife into the chest of another Muppet that betrayed it. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect answers.
Imagine
right.
Kermit just face down in a pool in Sunset Boulevard, just opening narration over it. Oh, that's just really doing it. I'm going to think about this a lot
Or
right now.
You don't have
old
one, Wes?
Old Kermit like crying by a grave because he's hoped that he's lived a
Oh,
good enough
the
life for
aging
all those
effect. He goes from
soldiers.
like young Kermit to old. That's so good.
No, I just wanted that one to be for you guys. All right, one more question. This
Maybe
is
Paranormal Activity, just so
Yeah,
there's
oh,
like
no.
something entertaining to watch.
All right, this one's from Paula. Paula says, question, I've never heard Wes mention that one should change from the clothes you wore while cooking and or eating in prior to going to sleep in your tent at night when backpacking in bear country. Recently, however, I've heard this from two different sources I tend to trust. What does Wes think about this? It's a great question. That's like upper level kind of stuff. Like if I were camping or backpacking in a place with a high likelihood of running into a grizzly, that's the kind of stuff I would think about. I think it's just kind of, you have to make those decisions based on your level of threat. And there's a baseline, like these are things you should do everywhere you go every single time. And then there's things that you kind of add to that if you're in a place with a higher risk. And that would be something I would include in that list. So it's not bad advice. But if I'm camping in like Yosemite, I'm not doing that because I'm not going to have a problem that necessitates that. So you just kind of have to use some judgment for that sort of thing. All right. That's all I got for today. I hope you guys liked part 1.
I loved it personally.
Yeah. And part 2 has a real humdinger of an attack story that I'm excited to tell. And then we'll get into a little bit about the search for ghost grizzlies after that last recorded attack. Thanks, Danielle.
All right. Well, yeah, I love that. That was great.
All right.
I've
Thanks,
always
guys.
been curious about the history of bears and different states too.
In other states. And we're going to go into that a little bit as well, just kind of like when other states lost their last bear. It's, I think it's going to be a fun episode.
You think that's the number one thing that like makes Montana better than Colorado?
In my
Grizzlies?
opinion, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Grizzlies. We have a lot more wolves. They've reintroduced wolves, but we have a lot more. But yeah, for me, it's Grizzlies.
Nice.
Quick pitch again, as always. If you want to sign up for our subscription channels, they're great. They're $10 a month. They make a great Christmas present. There actually is a way to gift our Patreon channel now. You can gift a year membership or a monthly membership. Makes for a great gift for that toothy in your life. And we've had some really fun recent episodes. Mike just talked about one where animals with either really short lifespan. I think it was all short lifespans, right? Did you do any long lifespans? Yeah.
No, that's maybe Jeff can do that for me at some later date.
Yeah. We've had some fun ones, and Jeff just re-upped and did a second beaver episode. So it's been great.
Forgot
check it
about
out.
that.
You get access to our whole
re-beavered.
catalog. Re-beavered. Yeah. Beavers part 2. All right. We'll see you guys. We love you.
All right. Love you guys. Birds will sleep on the end of a branch to avoid predators.
Just birds, huh? Any bird.
Some birds.
All right. See ya. Bye.